Hi everyone, Mr. Dix here. So today we're going to do Jammy Dodgers. Really easy recipe. What you're going to make initially is kind of like a sweet pastry. All right, so what we have in here is some butter. It's 225 grams of unsalted butter, and we have icing sugar, 125 grams, and in here, probably just about to see, is a teaspoon of vanilla, all right, either vanilla flavouring of vanilla paste or whatever you happen to have. Okay, what we're going to do first of all is we are going to mix this until it's smooth. All right, so very important first of all that the butter is actually soft. If it isn't, you'll find that this will go everywhere, all right, and it's very difficult to mix. Okay, so let's get this in. I'm going to show you the whole thing. Now, as you see, that's why it's important for the butter to be soft. Okay, you could use a spoon with this, but it would take obviously much longer. Icing sugar is fairly volatile, right? So you'll get a face of icing sugar. Just be mindful, don't be tempted, as some people have in the past, to kind of put the butter in the microwave because it changes the properties completely. All right, so make sure it's soft, but just be patient and it will go nice and smooth. Okay, so you might have noticed that the mixer has changed. The other one I had was a bit wimpy. This has got more oomph to it. Saying that in all seriousness, when you buy equipment, and I know it's about money, but if you can buy better equipment, it will last better. See that whisk previously, the black one you saw earlier, just couldn't handle that, although the butter was soft. Okay, so we're gonna carry on with this one. It's nearly done anyway. Okay, so what we're now going to do is put 2 egg yolks in there. So I've got a measuring jar there, so move it out of the way for a second. Just a reminder, the way to get out an egg yolk, or do it in the reverse way. Crack it on the side, so there's a hole there. What you now want to do is pull it open and just rock in between both shells. There's 1 egg yolk. I'm just going to put that in the mixture. And the second one. So you can obviously keep these egg whites if you want to make meringue or something. Okay, so that's that. Just going to mix those in really quickly. So once the egg yolks are mixed in, we're now going to add in the flour. That's 300 grams of plain flour. Now it's plain flour because obviously we don't want these to rise. This is a biscuit, and therefore you want it flat. All right, so that's what we're going to do. Now this will make, as you see, quite a soft mixture. This has to go in the fridge for at least an hour to harden up. If we try and roll it out, it just won't happen at all. It'll be sticking like mad. So let's make this. At this point, if we're at school, students will say, shall I add some water to it? Absolutely not, all right? It looks like, oh God, it's not gonna work. It will do, be patient. Okay, there we go. So, if you notice quite a lot stuck on the mixers, one way you can do it is you just hold it in. And then most of the mixture should fly off. If it doesn't, just give it a light whack on the side. Right, what we'll now do. So the mixture is made. But as you can see, it's really soft, all right? Like, as I said, you can't roll that out. It'd be actually impossible. So what you've made is a sweet pastry. It's sweet pastry because of the sugar and the butter. This will give you a nice, what's called a fine biscuit at the end, nice and crunchy. But at the moment, you need to chill it. So I have some cling film. you need to put it on flat. The reason you do it flat rather than a lump, it will take less time to chill, right? That's the point. So cut that. Okay, fold that over. Needs to be at least an hour, and what will happen is the butter in there will actually firm up and then make it easier to roll out. All right, so we'll do that in a second. So it's been about an hour, and it has firmed up a lot. It's quite a bit of a fine balance, this, because if you do it too long, like a few hours, it would just get like rock solid, and then you have to allow it to kind of defrost, soften a little bit. So it's a little bit of a balance, but basically it needs to be soft enough to roll, okay? What we're gonna do is gonna cut it in half. Just roughly is fine. And with this half, we're gonna roll this out. So you need some flour. On the top there. And we're gonna roll this to about the diameter of a 1 pound piece. All right, so remember with all pastry rolling, roll in one direction and then turn it and roll it. If you don't do that, then you'll get this lovely flat piece of pastry. You just won't be able to move it, and it'll be stuck, and it'll all, you know, be a bit of a disaster. So you need to be fairly quick. If you sort of hang around and leave it, it will obviously, the butter will start to kind of melt inside the pastry, and it will get softer or too soft to work, and then you have to put it back into the fridge. All right, so try and avoid touching it if you can. It comes a point, obviously, so to twist it, that it's difficult to twist and it may break, all right? So try and do it for the first few rolls, but thereafter, don't worry too much. So the thickness of a 1 pound piece. What we're now gonna do is, we need 2 cutters, right? Now I'm doing quite big ones, just because why not? But whatever you choose, you need 1 big cutter and then 1 small cutter, because obviously Jammy Dodger has a hole in the middle. Okay, so you can have got a shape or whatever, but you need essentially a cutter of a larger size and a second cutter of a smaller size. What we're gonna do first then is just do the larger one. So let's go 1, see how many we get. 3, 4. Okay. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to put these on a lined baking tray. So I've put them on the baking tray. I would suggest you use a palette knife, something similar, to take them from the table to the tray, because your hands can make them a bit soft. What you now need to do, at least with this first tray, is to use the second cutter and literally just cut. Now to be fair, you could do this, I guess, when it's on the table, but it's probably easier to, whoops, a bit wonky that one, but never mind. The benefit of this kind of pastry, I'll show you in a second. That one, I'm not too happy with, so I'm actually going to remove that. And what I can do is I can push all that back together and roll it out again. Okay, so that's going to be the top. So I'll do another one to fill this one in. And what I'm then going to do is roll the second half of pastry, and this time exactly the same. Flour the bottom, flour the top. Roll it out 1 pound to 1 pound thickness and cut out, this time, literally just the circles, and they're going to form the base. All right, I'm going to put these to the side, and then when you see it again in a second, I'll have this all rolled out and ready to bake. Just as a little addition, these is kind of the mixture that was left and stuff that I cut out, so actually you can get quite a lot more. So I've done 2 trays already. So just a reminder with this, don't keep squashing it together with obviously the flour, because it will dry out and then it will affect the properties and the flavour, and it'll break. But you can do it kind of once and squish it all together and then roll out to make a few more. So already I've got actually 10 biscuits here, so 10 bottoms, 10 tops. Do make sure they are the thickness of a 1 pound piece. But need to be not thick, but kind of thickish. If they're too thin, they will burn very, very easily. Okay, so the oven should be preheated to 180 or gas mark 4, and they would take 10 to 12 minutes, and they need to be kind of a golden brown. Now remember, all biscuits generally are soft when they're hot, so you can't tell by giving them a prod or anything, because they will be soft. So when they're nice and golden brown, take them out, allow them to cool down on the trays. Won't take long, 5-10 minutes maybe to cool down, and then try and move them. Don't move them before, because they will break, because this is a very fragile biscuit. Okay, so about 10-12 minutes in an oven at 180. So they come out the oven, so golden brown. You need to leave them on the tray, right? Don't be tempted to move them or anything, so leave them on the tray. Just want to show you that even, I'll say not even me, but now Look at these ones, they're a bit brown. The reason is, if you can see, you probably can't see from the video, I'm not sure, but this one is much thinner than the ones that aren't overcooked. You could still eat that, but that will have quite a bitter taste, so I'm gonna bin that one, which is a shame because then you've got the bottom as well, but it's fine. Okay, but so the thickness is important, that they are consistent thickness. Right, here's the other one. All right, so you're looking for a golden brown and then take them out. But if you touched it, they are still a bit spongy and you think, well, that's not right, are they cooked? Allow them to cool down and they will firm up, okay? And then we do the final stage in about 5-10 minutes time once they are cold, and they do need to be cold, right? Don't be tempted with warm because otherwise the jam will melt and it'll all be a bit messy. Okay, so give it a good 10 minutes or maybe more until they're actually physically cold, and then we can progress. So let's make the Jammy Dodger. So we have a circle of the bottom part. Now I've got, traditionally it's seedless raspberry jam. However, I think you put anything you like. Lemon curd is quite trendy. I've got black cherry conserve just because, kind of why not. Okay, you do want one that's a smooth. If it's got lumps in, like decent strawberry jam, it doesn't really work because it won't sort of sit properly. So you need a smooth one, or as smooth as you can. So literally want a spoonful of the mixture, spread it out. Be really careful. The fact these are very delicate biscuits, all right? They really can't, you've got to be very careful, but these are now obviously cold. All you then do is take one of the tops and just lay it on the top. And there we go. Now you can, if you want a flourish, just put a bit of ice sugar. Now I've got to see, it's got some ice sugar in a sieve. You want it to do it from a height. If you don't do it from a height, it looks like there's been a snowstorm. So just a little dusting, don't go mental, otherwise it does taste a bit dry. And there we go. And it's always quite good because if, like me, you have slightly overcooked them, you can hide that, but it would taste, you know, kind of great. And there we go, one Jammy Dodger, okay? And in a second, once I've finished them all, I'll take a picture to show you what they should look like. Enjoy. Remember, if you make them, send me a picture, cookingmrdix@gmail.com. And the next two videos will be spring chicken pie and tropical pavlova. See you all soon.